Hello everybody. So I was struck by a sudden urge to analyze some paladins gameplay, so that's what we're doing. I discovered that I had Epic Pen installed on my computer and I was like, ooh, I want to draw things, so that's what we're doing. I chose a game that I don't remember much about. This is the PWC BR Finals. So I don't remember what happens this game too much, and it's in a meta that I remember, so I can actually like talk about things. Um, that being said, we're not going to spend too much time on the draft because that's boring. So honestly, I remember the meta, right? But a lot of things are a bit wonky. For example, what's up with this IO, right? Because this is IO that can cap. So quite frankly, I'm not sure why she's going first. I know it's BR and they have their own things, but EV BK bans are a bit strange. But let's actually just talk about the comps that both teams ended up with. So first of all, uh, so we have a Rom and an Ash, right? So a lot of this game is going to come down to how well Carnage can basically deny those tanks. Because if those tanks are free, they're just going to make so much space. They're going to make a lot of space. And then you have like Luminary, Zin, and Vivian following up on that. And that's going to be very scary. So let's look at Parallax's comp. What's their advantages, right? Their advantages is that they have two tanks who are really aggressive. Their tanks are just gonna get in there and they're gonna do a lot of stuff. So this game is basically gonna be how well can those tanks actually create that space and how well can the backline follow up. So you've got an interesting decision here also because you do end up with the Luminaries Genos and the Zen. So that Zen is probably going to outbox the Mave on the other team. So you've got an interesting question of do you want to send the Zen to try and 1v1 the Mave um, and just rely on the Vivian for follow up? Or do you want to have the Zen try and follow up and rely on your backline to deal with the Mave? Because the Mave doesn't necessarily have like a super aggressive off tank to play with, so Genos Vivian should realistically be able to deal with that. But like especially if he gets poked out, right? They have an IO for heals, so she's not really going to be able to get healed, especially considering this is on Jag Falls. So Parallax's game is pretty much just going to be trying to get into the backline somehow and trying to get follow up somehow. So how free is the ROM going to be? How free is the Ash going to be? Like the tank ults for Parallax are going to be very important because like if Ash can, first of all, this is an awful Ash game. There's like two tanks that you don't have great matchups into. You have an IO on the team who's going to be saving ult for you. So going in with ult is not really an option. It sort of is, but it sort of isn't. Depends. It's risky. Um, you have a ROM and you have free stuns. I think they go burn monster this game, which I don't know if I agree with it, but it's certainly not the most egregious thing in this scenario. And then looking at Carnage's comp, so their comp together, um, like with Parallax's comp, you can kind of see what they're going for, right? They have two really aggressive tanks. They have a luminary pocket. They have some solo flank or Zen can play with an off tank as well, just fine. And they have a lot of damage. So like if Vivian can actually follow up on these tanks on this short of a map pretty well. So their comp makes sense, right? Like fundamentally makes sense. Carnage's comp, it doesn't make as much sense. It looks more like five good characters because you do have like some weirder things, right? It's not as obvious what Carnage is going for. So the main thing though is that they have an IO, right? They have an IO. And when you have an IO, because this is I this should be the IO that can cap. When you have an IO, that's kind of what your gameplay revolves around. So let's talk about IO and why she is like stupid. So basically, Carnage can, assuming that the Vivian isn't in mid, which she really shouldn't be, Carnage can always run down a side. They can always be aggressive somewhere. So they basically have 6 players, right? Normally, if you want to be really aggressive on a side, you'd have to, send everybody there. You have to send everybody to push one side and not worry about cap. But if you are Carnage, what you can do is you can put Luna on point, and you can basically have your entire team do other stuff, whether that's like matching the Zen or looking to prevent their tanks from doing stuff or whatever. You're just completely free to do anything, and the other team all of a sudden is on a timer. Unless they put the effort into killing Luna, in which case they are putting people like, let's say, hold up. So like Drag Falls, right? Drag Falls. Where do we draw this? I don't even know. Let's draw it on the casters. So Drag Falls is realistically like free. That's awful. Where do I draw this? How much space is there? If we like fast forward a bit to somewhere that's easier to draw on. Sure. Actually, well, okay.
Guys, the very first
that's probably loud. I'm sorry. So Drag Falls, right? There are 3 lanes. Let's draw this in yellow. There are 3 lanes. There's like, well, there's technically 4. So you have Sun, you have Main, you have Dark, and you have Jag all the way out here. So if Carnage puts Luna on point, Luna goes here. Excuse my writing, by the way. I'm writing with a mouse and it's suffering and it sucks. So if Luna goes here, basically Parallax has to like either put people in mid to deal with Luna, in which case you can basically just like 5-stack Jag. You can 5-stack Jag, or you can 4-stack it, honestly. You can send Maeve into Sun, and then no matter what the other team does, you're going to have an advantage somewhere. If they do this, you have an advantage in Jag. If they do this, you have an advantage everywhere. If they only send one person mid, that's not the right tool. If they only send one person mid, again, you have an advantage somewhere, right? You are going to have an advantage somewhere. And if they don't deal with Luna, I keep hitting the wrong button. It's been a while since I've used Epic Pen. If they don't deal with Luna, then you cap. So this gives a really clear, not necessarily like a win condition. Like their comp is still wonky, but it makes it so that Carnage can basically play off this character, right? They can force Parallax to either deal with the Luna thing that's on point, or put them on a timer the entire game. And that's like disregarding the fact that they have 5 good characters. So there are a few things that I think give them an advantage. One, the Maeve has more mobility than the Zen. So even if the Zen can maybe outduel the Maeve still has a lot of options. If the Zen tries to focus down the Maeve, then the Maeve can run away. If the Zen tries to force out the Maeve, then turn to burn point or burn Luna or whatever, then the Maeve can take that fight again, get first shot advantage, and maybe win it, force the Zen out, or at the very least force him to turn and force the Maeve out again. So the Maeve can play pretty slowly and just kind of take out the Zen just because of the mobility. If she plays it right, but again, that's assuming that the Zen even goes solo. So if I'm Carnage, I think, okay, we basically have like the screw your tanks comp, right? We have a Mave, whatever that Maeve's gonna go do her thing. We have Makoa, and we have Khan, and we have Io, and we have Burn Monster Tyra. They have chosen to draft Burn Monster Tyra. So this is these tanks aren't gonna have fun, right? That is what their goal is. So if you are Carnage, you are probably sending Mave around, right? You're sending Mave through yeah, let's bring the this back. So you are probably sending here. Which color were they? They were. They're gonna be red. Okay. I know it. Actually, no. They're gonna be blue because they have Luna. So actually, no. That doesn't make sense. We'll just write Luna in red. So you're gonna do Mave. I can't write. I'm sorry. You know what I mean, right? And then they're gonna do like everyone else, right? That's a 4. That's not a 4. Let's redraw that. There we go. That's a 4. So this is what you do. But off the bat, what the IO does is like she comes here, she plays here, and you run range 1 in your build because you're a good player and you know what you need to do on this map and these sorts of comps. Usually you put Luna on point if you can, and your team has to play slow while you do this, but then the IO can like go back and help her team. So that's what you do, and you play. And basically this way you end up with like 6 people, and that's what you do. And then if they meet you, right? You have a few options. Basically, you're pressing your advantage wherever you have one because you are going to have one somewhere. If they just meet you 100%, you just play slow and you cap, right? If they kill Luna, well, Luna's not a cooldown. You can actually just wait. They have to do something. If they go to point, then you have an advantage somewhere and you can play Screw Your Tank Simulator, right? If they send the ROM to point, you can run at the Ash, right? If they send, whatever. If they do something janky, again, like Carnage's comp is based off the idea that they're going to have an advantage somewhere. So reacting to that is going to be what makes or breaks the game for them. If you are Parallax, if you are the blue team, you have Rom, you have Ash, you have Vivian, Genos, and Zin. You are on a timer. You have to kill things. So, but you also can't go to point, right? You have Rom and Ash. You're not going to go to point. ROM can kind of sort of do it. It's possible, but not great. So there's a few options. You could do Zin solo and you could 4-stack, but again, that kind of just invites Carnage to just play slow, and you can't really do too much unless you win a 4v4 or a 1v1, which kind of relies on either outplaying them or better ults, which, I mean, maybe later. But again, if you have full comeback and all your ults, like you could, this is an option that you have. You could do Zen still goes here. You could do Rom, and then you could do like everyone else. And this way you sort of have, because Rom has like a lot of mobility, right? Rom going mid doesn't mean he has to stay in mid. So you have options here. If the other team doesn't, let's say the other team doesn't send the Mave, then you have Rom and Zin going around, and you have a pinch, right? You have 2 people, 3 people, and then this would be a 5. So then you're pinching 5 people, and you can probably kill Luna before you do this, so you're not on that timer. So I think this would probably be their best option. The other option that you have, the classic tier 3 Jag Falls strat, is to just 5-stack Jag. I don't like this because it means you're losing cap. It's a 5v4, which will take a while to win, especially if Carnage realize that you're 5-stacking, which they will very quickly, and they just leave. Like, they will literally do this, and then you're going to do this. That's yellow. Then you're going to do this. And they're going to do that. Oh, that's yellow again. And they're going to do this. And then you're going to do... They're going to do this. And in the meantime, you have a Mave in your backline. And you're losing cap. So I don't like this. 5-stacking Jag tends to be very easily punishable. And you only really see it when like you want to catch them off guard. Like if you 5-stack Jag and like, you know, the other team does this, but you do this, that's yellow. What? Okay. Okay, what is this? But you do this, like, and you go faster than them, right? Which you probably can because you have Rom and Ash, and a Vivian with 30% move speed, and a Genos who has a decent amount of mobility. So like you can go faster than them. You can try to catch them out, but the Mave doesn't have to go all the way around. If you guys are 5-stackers, you can also just like cut through mid. So it's risky. Basically, your other option, well, you could play mid with like this is the standard a lot, right? You go Rom, you go Genos, you go Viv, and then you go Ash and Xin. And this is like the standard Jag Falls rollout. Main tank mid with a backline and then the support, and then your offlane goes Jag. And this is normally how you play things. Now, the issue here is that you have 4 people and you have 2 people, right? And as we know, 4 is bigger than 2. So it's going to take these people like half a second to kill Luna, realistically, right? But then Ash and Xin are just going to be getting ran over. So if you do this, you're probably going to get some cap time, but then you're going to lose eventually because your Ash and Xin are just going to die, and there's not that much they can do about it. At the very least, the Ash will die. And if the Io's smart, she'll peek this corner on mount and see if there are people there. And if there are a lot of people there, she won't even bother with Luna. She'll just like either dismount these people and then go Jag, or just go Jag right away. So this is doable, but I don't like it because it doesn't really involve the Vivian. So I think basically, complicated way of saying, blue needs to kill stuff, right? Blue needs to kill stuff. So how are they going to get a numbers advantage somewhere? So assuming that Carnage does not go mid, they do not go mid with a comp that has IO on Jag Falls. They don't do that because that's bad. That's just putting all, like if you have Luna on point, right? You don't need 2 people on point. You have Luna. You can test point. Luna frees you to, like, if you want to kill the other team. Let's say this is a deathmatch. Jag Falls is all of a sudden a deathmatch arena. You don't want to go point ever. You don't want to go mid, right? There's always this balance in this game of I want to kill the other team and I want to cap the point, or I want to be on the objective, because the objective is almost never the actual best spot to fight things from. So you don't want to fight things from mid usually. The only reason you want to fight things on mid is because mid gives you the points that win you the game. So if Carnage attack point, basically it means that Parallax can take the rest of the good spots that are like around the map and then just surround them and they die. And same goes for the other team. If either team stacks mid or plays mid too hard, then that means they just give up the rest of the map. So what does blue team do? So I like this better, honestly. I think this gives you, that's Rom. I think this gives you the most options. I don't think you're going to lose this too quickly. I think the Rom starting mid means he can go wherever afterwards. I think this gives you the best option to force something down. And if this Mave isn't here, then again you have a better pinch. So with that in mind, that Parallax needs to get on top of things, and they need to involve the Vivian in the fight. And Carnage just needs to play off wherever they have an advantage from. Let's see how the teams actually play it. And I did watch like the first little bit, just because I wanted to see if I remember the game or not. But Krezdik's mic is a bit scuffed for the first little bit. So, is there anything special here? We have Opportunity and Chaos. Oh, it's Gio. Huh. Enforcer was a bit stronger. And yeah, there's Burn Monster. I keep forgetting if it still applies COD or not.
Their composition, I do like how Carnage kind of responded to it, though. I like how they see the double aggressive off tank that Parallax have brought to the table. So they just bring a bunch of DPS that have a ton of DR. They have Pyro who can stack that up with Mercy Kill maybe. They have Maeve who has a lot at base, and of course.
So right away, we can see they've sent Ash, Vivian, Genos mid, and let's see these rollouts, right?
Kill maybe. They have Maeve who has a lot at base.
Okay, so Koa's going Sun.
They have Pyro who can stack that up.
Okay.
With Mercy Kill maybe.
Are they actually playing out of Sun with this? Okay. Okay. Let's get like I'm rewound this like 4 times. So I don't know how to get like a good POV on this. So what Red's gonna do, what Carnage is gonna do is they're gonna do Koa, Tyra, Con. This is supposed to be in mid. Con, Io, Maeve, Mav? Sure, Mav. So, and then Parallax is doing Ash, Viv, Janos, and then Ram, and they have Zen. So, I can't. I mean, I could spell. I can't write with a mouse. It's hard. Don't judge me too hard. So, this makes sense to a point from Carnage. If you were going to do this, I don't. So, the con realistically could be going into Dark here. Because remember, let's draw the lanes again. We have like these are the lanes, right? These are the lanes. So con could just be going into Dark. It's black. Con could be going into Dark and controlling Dark. That's fine. Gives you a bit more of an off angle. I don't like the Maeve going Sun with the Koa Tyra going I don't like the Maeve going Jag with the Koa Tyra going Sun. I feel like that just gives you a lot less space. Sun is usually much more difficult to play out of than Jag, just because you have a lot fewer options. It's really easy to get off angled. It's really easy to get pinched in. So I don't necessarily like that. From Parallax, I'm not sure why they're going point, because again, if you have like the solo IO on just putting dog on point, then that's kind of difficult for this rollout to deal with, because your Mom and Zen can get ran over, and then the Maeve can poke out the backline for free. So right off the bat, I don't like either of these teams' rollouts. I think they're both really bad. I think they both lose to the rollouts that I talked about earlier. So I don't like it, but let's see how it plays out. Okay, so both tanks actually go. Oh, whoa! When I said both tanks, I meant like the Ash was here, not the. Okay, so for some reason we are stacking Dark with both tanks and the Tyra. Okay, we really just said, hey, here's the map to the other team, did we? Okay, but they do kind of run over the Ash. That's fair. But I mean, that's what you gotta do if you stack. But that being said, where's the rest of your team? Like, as soon as you see them 5-stacking and running out your Ash, you've got to respond to that. The fight's gonna be decided here. Also, we could talk about the fact that Ash saw this, was like, yeah, I'll walk into that. Like, look, her offlane's still on mountain. She's dead. So yeah, like Chris said, they deathballed with Io, which like don't deathball with Io. That's gonna get you punished by every single like comp ever. Like, think if they do this like I don't know how Jin shouldn't die there, right? Zen should not die there. That is on the Zen. He done goofed. He probably like based off the look of things. Maybe he got crippled and like he had the she's burn monster moment or something. I don't know. That shouldn't happen. But the Ash dying is kind of a more mistake from Parallax.
Already the first kill available to Carnage Gaming is going to be in the form of Cool.
Oh my god, burn monster value. It's not like he was dead anyways. So they can't really hard zone. So
to 9% already. Things are becoming a bit more dire. The percentage is building. And with
So like if you see this, right, we can assume the con is like slightly to our right. If you see this in your parallax, you can say, oh, Jag is open. Let's go Jag. Let's take that space that they're giving to us. But you see the Zin is doing.
60% for Carnage Gaming still climbing.
So like the Zin is probably gonna get like a really nice off angle or something this fight.
Wants to be the first one to see if he can sort of force this engagement on the objective, get the overtime touch needed.
I don't know where the Zin went now. Okay, the Zin's probably like in the back line. Io might be in trouble here. So
engagement on the objective, get the overtime.
God, there are so many people. There are 3 people probably, 3 people on point. And this sucks for Parallax because they have to touch with somebody, right? Otherwise they're gonna lose. So like you can talk about whatever map control macro things is, you know, you need to touch the point here, and that makes things sucky because then you can't like pinch with as many people, and Carnage can just like leave the point, kill your team, and then go back to the point, especially with Io. So this is a bad situation for Parallax. They probably lose this fight unless he then gets a pick. Being said, Zin looks like he's about to kill the Io. The Io's in trouble. No? Yes? Yes. Okay, awesome. So, good. That's what you get for zoning like that. My god. Wait. No? Okay. Dintik has killed 5 people, I think. I think did Dintik just kill all 5? Wait a minute. He kills Tyra. He kills Maeve.
Like for right now,
he kills Io.
Manages to get one, but pulls out the triple. The ROM is on point without Tyra. You can't burn.
He kills Koa, and then he kills the Khan too. Okay, Dintik just killed 5. So let's actually break that down. Let's actually go over why he killed 5. God, I need. Hold up. Is there any way I can open this up without like doxing myself? Oh, awesome. Hold up. There's a way I can do this without doxing myself. Very cool. So, let's open up Jag Falls. Where is Jag Falls? Here's Jag Falls. So, roughly, let's talk about how this fight goes. Okay. So we have DPS in mid. Okay. So from they're red team, right? Yeah, okay. So from Carnage, we have Tyra, we have like Io, we have Maeve, we have like Makoa here, and then we have Khan here. So right away, you can kind of see like, okay, they had like this angle to get dismounts, and that's great, but they didn't have enough cap to hard zone, and they knew that, so they're staying pretty far back. That being said, the way that they're staying very far back is really bad. Let's divide the map again. 3 lanes. Which ones are they controlling? They are controlling a singular lane here, right? So they're controlling 1. So with this in mind, with the space that they're actually controlling in mind, let's watch this back. Let's watch this back.
And 60% for Carnage Gaming, still climbing, and ROM wants to be the first one to see if he can sort of.
All right. So we have ROM. We have Viv. I should probably just write R. Right. So we have ROM pushing here. We have Vivian behind her. We have Genos behind her. We have Zin. Zin goes and does this, which is really good. I was expecting him to go like this maybe, but I think going all the way around is a bit better. And then we have Ashe, who goes for touch. So this is how they retake. You notice that like they only send as many people point as they absolutely need to, right? So that's good. Now, if you're, let's say you're the IO here, you're the IO player, you are right here, and you get flanked by Zen, where do you go to? You're right here, we'll draw this in black, you're right here. Where can you go? Right? Well, staying on point sucks, you'll probably just die, you can't go here. So you can't go point. You can't go on sun because there are 3 people in sun. You can try to make this rotation, but what's stopping like the Xin from following there? Or the Rom or the Ash looking for you or whatever. Like it's gonna be hard to get peeled. This is probably your best option. But let's look at what actually happens because she gets caught out and like she is specifically like right here or something. I think she's playing in Cubby. So
force this engagement on the objective, get the overtime touch.
Where is the IO here? Yeah, so she's just straight up in mid. So let's go back. So she is straight up right here. Now this isn't great. If you think that their entire team is like let's say you think the Xin is like here, then you shouldn't even be in mid. You should be like here maybe, because this is a bit safer, or even in here. But she's not. She is right in mid, and she dies for that. So this is a really good punish from blue team. From who's blue team? From Parallax. It's a really good punish from Parallax. So what does Carnage do instead? What do they do instead? So let's clear this. Let's get our lines back. So they controlled one lane, right? So how do you zone on Jag Falls? So we talked about like how. God, I keep forgetting who's who. So yeah, Carnage have the IO. So there are basically 4 lanes, right? They won the first fight because they pushed super hard through Dark and killed the Ashe, right? That's why they won that first fight. So like they didn't necessarily control the lanes better. They just were faster than the Ashe and they got a kill for it. But now, you can try that again. You can try to like death ball run at something and hope that you get a kill. It's not super consistent and it's weird to do that on a zone. So even if you're soft zoning, even if you're trying to, you know, play for the next fight and not trying to deny touch, that doesn't mean you just stack point. Like that's obvious. So you know, don't stacking point bad. I feel like we should know this at this point. So what do they do instead? So first of all, put Luna on point. Let Luna cap. This frees you up to do literally whatever you want, right? Literally whatever you want. So, like I said, right, I think their best look is probably 4 stacking Jag with Maeve, Solo, and Sun. So do that. You can put Maeve here. You can do Khan here. You can do, I mean, Koa and Tyra. It doesn't really, like you can legitimately have like a lot of people here, but then the way you back up matters, right? The way you back up matters. You can stack mid if you want, as long as you cleanly back up to Jag. That might be a bit hard, so you could just do Khan here, Koa here, and then you had Tyra and Io. You could do this. I think this is the better way. Like when people talk about 5-man zones, right? It means that you can sustain like a fight here. Like if your Khan gets poked out, Io can just kind of like drop back and heal him, and that's a lot easier to do. So this is insanely strong. Normally you'd have to have your support on point, then make a rotation here, then back up and like link up there, and your Khan have to back up too, and like you get into like weird rotations. This is really straightforward. Like you play here, you get dismounts, you try to force cooldowns, then you do this. You just literally hold the S key. Then what's going to happen is the other team is going to send somebody to point. And you're like, wow, you know what that means? They have 1 person here. And then they have like 4 people like somewhere over here. And we have 1, 2, 5. 5 is bigger than 4. We can just go kill the four people in the back line while the Ashe is 1v1ing the Luna on point. So this is kind of the strength of Vile, right? It just creates an advantage everywhere. Or not it creates an advantage somewhere. And if you know where that advantage is, you can always take a fight with more people. So they're not doing this. Carnage is not doing this, right? And Parallax punished them very, very. I am getting the names right, yeah. Can I just call them blue team and red team? Is that gonna work better? So red team goofs this. This is big goof. Like look at this fight. Look at the HP bars. Look at the HP bars and look at the cap. Right? This is how important this stuff is. Red team literally have 90% cap and like double the HP of blue team, and they get absolutely demolished because they stack. Because they stack and they don't take map control. So this is not what we'd want to see in the finals of a world championship or a regional championship even. Which is part of the reason why PwC and PPC was a little wee bit of a joke, is because people didn't fundamentally understand this stuff, but it's not to say that it wouldn't have gotten better. So that being said, though, how do you break this zone, right? How do you do this, right? If this is proper zoning and the best zoning, right? And you could argue details, but overall, I think that this sort of setup is the way to go with Luna in this sort of comp. Like you could say, well, maybe we should back up to Sun. Maybe we should have the con here. Maybe we should have the tower dismount mid. Like sure. That's not a massive difference though, right? This is the general idea of what you want to do. So how do you break this, right? You have Ashe, Rom, Genos, Xin, and a Vivian. How do you break this? You need to get touch, first of all. That's important. You need to get touch. So how do you get touch? Well, we kind of saw the Ashe dashing for point in the game. That's kind of hard to do when there's a con in your face. So you need to force somewhere. You need to say, like, yes, you have control over like the entirety of the map, but you know we have our people too, right? We can do stuff too. So if they're set up like this, realistically, like here we're gonna draw numbers again. 3, 1, and 1. Where do you want to push into? Right? Where do you want to push into if they have this? You don't want to push into 3 people. That's hard. So you can do is you can literally just like you can send 5 people here. Honestly, for all that matters, you could. You probably shouldn't, but you could. You want this Mave to like leave. You want this Mave to say, if I stay here, I'm going to die. So I am going to back up to here. Oh, I have an undo button, right? Yes. Okay, very cool. I'm going to, you know, if I stay here, I'm going to die. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back up to here. And then congratulations, you now, if you are a blue team, you now control this area of the map. Yay, good job. And ideally, you could do the same with the con, right? You can say, you can like roll out like 3 people here, 2 people here. And then the con will be like, oh no, that's scary. I'm going to leave. And then maybe he backs up like here, or here, or here. Either way, you get control over more of the map. So that's how you do it, right? You can basically force your way through people. The only thing that you got to be careful of is this sort of movement. So this kind of comes down to execution and who's faster. So if you know the 3 people here and you have a 4v2, then these people up here, these 3 need to be very quick in how they respond. They can either like go for the back line, which isn't as fast, but it's probably a bit more effective, or they can just try to peel, and all of a sudden you got like a massive brawl going on here, and it's really weird, but who knows? Then it kind of depends on positioning and ults and comps and stuff, and honestly what type of movement they make probably just depends. The other option, if you can count, let's hit undo a whole bunch. So the other option is something like, yeah, basically just like, again, we're fighting for numbers here. You can send 5 people Jag and force out the 3 people. This is doable. It might be a bit awkward because at some point you're gonna have to do this, and then the 3 people can do like this, and so when they So you end up in a situation basically where you're gonna be in here and just have these 3 people still behind you if they play it correctly, because you are gonna have to go for touch. So that gets awkward really quick. So I don't like that option as much. And 5 stacking in general tends to be very, very bad because again, if you 5 stack this Con and Mave are just free to do anything that they want, and that anything that they want, since they don't have to worry about point because there is a Luna on it, they can go to your backline for free. If you 5 stack like this, it's just it's like it fundamentally makes sense against a team that doesn't have Luna. It might work, but realistically, blue team only had one option here, and or should have only had one option in this sort of scenario, which would be to force out Sun. But here, let's get rid of this. But red team stacked mid and gave Parallax the freest retake out of the lives.
Chow manages to get one, but Dintic pulls out the triple. The ROM is on point without Tyra. You can't burn the monster down, but Scooter tries to make himself more relevant, pushes himself in, and manages to at least get mid-tow, but Dintic with the delayed quadra kill might make it a little bit more
give my man Dintic more credit than that. Okay, so now Parallax have the shoes on the other foot now, right? We have the exact same scenario. You want to zone. So how do you zone? Well, you do, you don't stack mid, hopefully. So this is already better because they have someone in Jag.
Because of the lead that Carnage Gaming were already able to make.
So is this the best zone in the world? No. Is it? You know what I will say, though? I will say this is actually... Okay, so this is better, right? Like, remember what their rollout was? They had, like, 3 people here. That's not a free, what the heck? They had 3 people here, they had 2 people here. And you know what the zone is? Look what the zone is. There are 2 people here and 3 people here. That's not a free again, but you get the idea. The zone, their zone matches their rollout, and that's important because it means, like, on your rollout, you are trying to take space of the important areas of the map for your comp, and on zone, you're trying to hold the important areas of the map for your comp. So it's basically like the same thing. It's the same idea behind rolling out and zoning. So this is good. I might not agree with their rollout. I don't think it's a great rollout, but their zone is good execution. They could probably push up a bit farther, like, and get dismounts, but
66% already
that's more nitpicky.
Might make it a little bit more dangerous.
So this Vivian's flanking. I don't hate that, honestly. I'd rather the Genos be with her, but you know,
for Carnage Gaming.
That's a big boop. So you kind of had to be on point, yeah. That sucks. So this is why, like, more aggressive comps kind of are harder to pull off, right? Is because, you know what I said about being on a timer earlier? This is a different way of being put on a timer, like being on a timer with Luna. This is another way of being on a timer. So you have an Ashe on point. She is going to die. She is going to die. But she has to be on point, otherwise you lose, right? You lose this mid because the other team is 99%. So she has to be on point. So what that means is that, like, she is going to die. You're going to need to get a kill, right? You can't just let your Ashe die. She's going to die. So you need to make something happen first. So, like, this flank from the Vivian is good, and this dash in from the Rom is good. Ideally it happens earlier, but, you know, can't win them all. So now what happens is that now Rom has to go touch, or the Xin has to go touch, and this is just taking resources away from Parallax's ability to just, like, kill stuff. Imagine if, like, this Ashe was, like, an Anara, or, like, just alive, and the Rom and Xin, like, you see this? You see, I don't know what's going on, like, over here, but so there's, you know, the split targets. There's, I don't know why Zin's trying to burn point. I don't know why Rom is 1v1ing a Mave. I don't know why Io is free in mid. I don't know what the Vivian is doing yet, but still, this needs to be a bit faster from Parallax. The Tyra and the Viv are going to run into each other, aren't they? Oh, okay, well the Vivian touches, I guess.
And it seems like for right now, while everything ends up...
Oh no, unlucky. Okay, so can we just appreciate the fact that once again Carnage has 5 people on the point, like in mid, like literally, like here, One, oh, that's blue. You know, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then was that 5 back there?
And being, it seems like there's already
Yeah.
2 kills in the form of Tyra. That's a
So
double kill. IO,
that's not great, right? So like as soon as this happens, right? Like this should be the initiator here, right? Either because like even if the Vivian is here, right? The Vivian's not really involved in this fight, and that makes it a lot harder. But this play isn't bad. It just needs to be done faster, right? I don't know if I'd go for the Maeve. The Maeve is entirely happy to waste 20 seconds, to waste 10 seconds here, right? Because 10 seconds is more than enough to kill this Ashe. If she lives longer than the Ashe, she's doing her job. So I wouldn't go for the Ashe. I'd go for the backliner.
A little bit more dangerous for Carnage Gaming.
But they don't. Like, the Zin's getting forced out. I don't know, man, if they were in the backline. Like, if they were in the backline, the Vivian could probably just kill the Makoa here. I don't know why the Vivian didn't go all the way around, honestly. I thought that was going to be like... I thought what was going to happen is that Vivian was going to do... Wait, they're red team, right? Oh no, Vivian's blue team. Oh my god. Okay, I thought Vivian was going to do like this, and then Ram and Zin were going to do like this, and then they're going to like, yeah. But they didn't.
It seems
Even if the Vivian stays mid and the Ram and Zin go into the backline, then it's like the support cutout from out of the front line, and then Vivian can kill them.
like for right now,
Theoretically.
everything ends up getting fixed.
Big shout.
The moment. And being, it seems like there's already 2 kills in the form of Tyra. That's a double kill. IO manages to
Alright.
get 1. That's a good amount of last hits.
How long's this video been? And it's not even been 3 minutes in game.
Point captured. Very first point for Carnage Gaming. Not too good of a look for Parallax. It seemed like.
Alright, so now, this is another strength of IO, is that you can literally put Luna on the cap and then go take space. So, like, they are, like, here-ish? They're like here-ish, right? They should be like here-ish. they can be, right? Why wouldn't they be? They have healing. They have their entire team there. They could take that fight.
Like they were able to make things work for
that being said,
now and again, but with a kill on Outlander,
that happens. So yeah, this needs to be super aggressive from Carnage here. Yes, keep going, keep going. Stagger them, stagger them. Go, 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 go. They're down 1, they're down 2, they're down 3. Just keep running, just keep running, just keep running. Snowball it. Not actually a bad play from the Zen to go point. Just stall. Alright, so that's a little bit Papiga from Parallax. But that's okay because they still get another fight. So, once again, remember what happened with the Ashe point last time? So, they don't want that to happen. They don't want it to send an off tank to point, right? That's bad. So, don't. Take the fight now and you don't have to worry about cap. Like, go kill them, right? Go find the backline. Now, is that going to be very, very hard? Yes. But if you're tracking ults correctly, you know that Isle used ult at the end of the last mid fight, and you know that you have Ashe ult. So, actually, you probably think they have Con ult. Well, okay. Here's what you do. So you have Rom, Vivian, play together and run at the Con wherever he is, and then you have Ashe and Zen look for an ult on the backline, and that way if the Con does go for an ult, he gets run over by Rom and Vivian. So ideally, that's what you do, and yeah, this is really hard for Parallax. This probably goes in.
The game's last
like, yeah, they need to go now.
Closer, even though it was a 3-0, so it makes it a little bit more dangerous. Hook
So
goes
wonky
out,
hook.
drags him right on in. Deflector shield, burn. Void grip goes out. Man, just lift up Makoa for a little bit
Yep.
longer. Hit him right on in.
Actually, how did
Closer,
the?
even though it was a 3-0, so it makes it a
That's
little
just a hook. Dude, I don't know why.
Last set we're a little bit closer, even though it was a 3-0.
I guess, dude. I guess.
Hook goes out, drags him right on in. Deflector shield, burn.
I don't know why he went that way.
3-0, so it makes it a little bit more dangerous. Hook goes out, drags him
I
right
mean,
on in.
I guess.
Void grip goes out.
That's just a good hook.
For a little bit longer. Ares didn't manage to find the kill onto mid tower, but they trade
My
things
God,
out.
Scooter's running.
Commanders grab, they're chasing him.
Where's that Scooter? Hold up. Oh, it's Outlander. I get my name.
That's trying to find a way to escape. Outlander manages to live for long.
He's in the backline. Notice how both of Blue's tanks are on point, man. You're gonna slowly lose. This Tyra is gonna have a field day. I want to see Tyra damage numbers at the end of this. Like she Ash ulted. Who cares? Literally, who cares? What does this do? You don't want to be on point. If you live forever on point, you're gonna lose. I mean, because you're not gonna live forever. Your team's just gonna play respawn simulator if you're on point. You can't take a fight like this.
Still gonna get brought down. The assert dominance was what was forced here.
That's probably not even necessary.
Oh no! Goes out Rom, tossed right off the side. Shoulder bash on the way in.
Like, look how much pressure this Io's under, dude. She's taking like some shots. Is she in threat of dying?
Into the back line. Try and make it even. 2 for 2.
Okay, I don't know how. How did Red Tanks follow? How did Koa die? Did he get? He didn't get guillotined. What? He had ult. He just dies with ult. Okay, fair enough. That's an oopsies.
They trade things out 1-for-1. Commanders grab. They're chasing him, ring around the Rosie, the good old Scooby-Doo treatment. As Genos is trying to find.
Genos just a little. I mean, honestly, man, it just kind of sucks that his Vivian died that he was playing with, but he could have like ran back. Did he run back to spawn afterwards?
Dangerous hook goes out, drags him right on in. Deflector shield burns. Void grip goes out. Man, just live with Makoa for
he could have got in spawn.
A little bit longer. Ares didn't manage to find the kill onto mid tower, but they trade things out 1-for-1. Commanders grab. They're chasing him, ring around the Rosie, the good old.
He's also not getting peeled for it all. Like Zen ult here, and bam, you're good. Like nobody's turning. Like nobody's even looked, right? So first of all, they don't notice, which is not great. And second of all, this isn't communicated, which is also not great.
As Genos is trying to find a way to escape Outlander.
Oh no, there's a Khan in our backline, guys. He's only been chasing our Genos for the past 10 seconds.
Manages to live for long enough, but not too long.
So,
still gonna get brought down.
Khan hits the ult. Maeve gets run down, and why is she there?
But not too long.
Like, why is Maeve in the backline this deep? Like, you just have to shoot point.
Still gonna get brought down. The assert.
I don't know why she runs into both DPS and ties. That's a bit. That's a little trolly, but like that's kind of just not identifying your win condition, right? Like their tanks have to contest, right? Their tanks have to be on point, otherwise it goes in. And your tanks can just sit back. Like if you're red team, you can just sit back and chill. You don't need to be on point. You can just stand there and outpoke them and make them come to you because you will outpoke them. So, not great.
Dominance was what was forced here. Overpower goes out. Rom tossed right off the side. Shoulder bash on the way in.
So okay, so Khan gets guillotined. Unlucky.
Things into the back line. Try and make it
still winnable.
Finds himself with a nice double kill. They're still holding on to the objective as much as they
yeah, Tyra's killing everything.
They're trying to burn down
okay.
targets one after the next. So that's a 2-0 for Carnage Gaming to start things off.
So right off the bat, I don't think like these teams. Okay, so so I could be like. Not to be mean, right? I'm not trying to be mean here, right? This is like a VOD, whatever the game's done. I don't think these teams understand how their comps work, based off how they're playing them. I don't think Carnage is playing off the advantage that having an IO gives them. I don't think Parallax are playing off the advantage and restrictions that having such an aggressive double off tank comp. Like, I don't think they understand that. If they do understand it, they're certainly not playing for it. They're using Assault on point. They're playing point pretty hard on the mids. They're, I mean that's basically it. If you understood how the comp works, you would not do those two things, right? Like Assaulting point to stall point on the defense is like, yes, it's like slapping a band-aid on the problem, right? Because yeah, you're gonna survive, you're going to live, but then you're gonna die in 8 seconds after your ult runs out. So it's not great. There's construction going on. I hope you guys can't hear that. And then from Carnage, they're just not playing off IO at all. Not great.
As much as they can. The phrase you.
That being said, okay, now I haven't really talked about ults too much, but now we have ults. And Carnage have used everything. What, are you gonna play off of Vivian ult and Gel Assault? Nah, man. Carnage have, well, they shouldn't have Koa. Koa should have used, but they have Io. So Io is just gonna be saved for a tank dive on this mid because there's gonna be one fight you don't need to worry about. Like these are the ults you're gonna have unless things get really wonky real quick.
0 and 5.
Again, like the same rollouts, right? So let's talk about how either team can adapt. So from red team Carnage with the IO, right? They did this. Basically, like that was all they did. They did this with both tanks. They had presumably their backline here. They had Maeve here. So how do you punish this? You have two options. You can send Xin around, or you can send like an Xin plus like Rom around, and you can do this. And then you have 3 people here, and you just don't worry about point. You just say we're going to kill their backline because that is what you need to do. You cannot play off point with this sort of comp. So you basically say screw point. We're not going to bother with point. We're going to go kill their backline. That's the adaptation you make. You say they went point. We can just take the space around them, and then we can surround them and kill them. That's what you do. If you are Carnage, you can say, hey guys, we should probably like remember how to play IO. And you can also recognize that the Ashe went mid, but so like you can say, okay, their Ashe is playing off point. They're playing off point. We can go point too. We win that fight on point, so we can go point. But you also recognize they should be going for our backline, right? So you do want to like probably just 3 stack on Jag, and then rely on your IO and Vivian to Vivian. No, IO Tyra, right? Am I stupid? Well, don't answer that. Your IO and Tyra to deal with the Maeve, or the Rom, and if that means then again you have I'm drawing in the wrong colors, and that's what confuses me. Yeah. So again, you have Luna. That's blue. You have Luna point. You can send like Con or something, right? Con. Yeah, you can like send Con point if they go through. What the hell? If they go through here, then Khan can come back and meet, and you fight them there. All the while Luna's capping, and that's why Io is strong. And if they don't, then like Khan can just like go in here, or you can peel back, or again, you play pretty reactively with the IO, but.
On front line that we got to see, and he is 0 in 5 here now.
I know, in this comp you play pretty reactively with the IO. The other option with IO is to like slam Luna down on cap and just 5 mana lane, right? Just like send her. Which is fine. You could do that if you want to catch the other team out. If you really want to keep the momentum going and give them something that they haven't thought about, then you could do that. But I don't think that you could actually. You have Mayball. You have momentum. You're winning this game so far. Like you could do that. And that might catch Parallax off guard again.
Now benefits. They have the comeback mechanic in their favor against a team like Carnage.
Oh my god, are the casters going to explain the comeback mechanic?
If Outlander can hit a sick ult, then that's the greatest way to start this off. But Cool is 9-1 and 4. You know where your target is. Right now, that Tyra,
General Assault's going to be hard.
Looked over it. I didn't think it was going to be this insane. But she's the problem. Someone has to deal with her. And
okay, so it looks like Carnage doing the same. It looks like both teams are doing the same thing. God damn it. Oh wait, no, the Ashe is going. Oh, the Ashe is going Sun. Okay, so they are looking to pinch, but for some reason they have their Vivian in mid. Your Vivian is just gonna be out of this fight. No. So yeah, it's literally the same rollouts from both teams, except the Ashe goes Sun. So it's the same except Ashe goes Sun. So if you had all this, be great. Also, Rom could just be. I mean, this is. I guess this is the situation they're going for. If the other team goes Jag, but like they shouldn't all be going Jag. Like sub one, I don't know. Like if you had General's Vivian here, you could be shooting the Makoa and anchoring that, and then the Rom. I don't know. And like Ashe Xin going around, like it could work, man. It's good. Holy hell.
On the Mave, but he already ate so much damage on the way in.
Okay, well, he got,
kill.
yeah, he got absolutely
Spin it
demolished. They're just
now.
running at them, dude. They're running at them. Like, look at what the Ashe is leaving. Haram died. She's like, I wish there was something I could have done. I wish there was something I could have done about that 5 seconds ago.
21% on the objective for Carnage Gaming. They're waiting and buying time.
That being said, let's see if we get another 5-man zone on point.
Back, so they may not be able to be as aggressive as they might like to. Io will take the new spot on the
Looks like we are.
trying to force things.
So again, let's see if a late respawn taking map control from Parallax gets work done.
Into the Makoa on the left-hand side here. Secret is where they're
Also, they have Janos. I'll let you guys know, right?
fighting. Things are getting a little bit more
Be careful.
dire. The percentage is still gaining on the side of Carnage Gaming.
What? Dude, how?
More dire. The percentage is still gaining.
I mean, that's okay. That's a little papige, especially since people are still respawning, right?
On the side of
Like where the Zen, like okay. I thought the Zen was still respawning. My bad. Again, the Vivian. She's just shooting point. She's not doing anything. This Khan's probably holding up shield in front of her. Like, are you sure you don't want to go like help your team with the fight over? No, you're just gonna shoot my shield. No, just there's a fight going on. Your Ashe is dead. You want to help with that?
One of them goes down. Kronz is killed. And meanwhile, Vivian's the one trying to see if they can put
Okay, that was a little stupid. That was really bad from Cool, and that actually kind of puts them back in this. Why? What? Okay, friends. Io is so good. And Guillotine. Okay, what just happened? Everything just happened at once. No, the Rommel. Good dick. Dude, just hide. What the? Okay. 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 I'm gonna draw where these people are, and I'm gonna hate it. So we have from blue team. We have Janos. We have I'm not gonna be able to draw this big. We have Vivian. We have Janos. We have Ashe, Rom, Zen. Then we have Luna, Khan, Koa, Aya, and Tyra. So, First, let's put up this that actually look like two separate letters. So, oh my god. So again, like if someone was to go around here, it'd be the same thing as a Zen from the earlier round, and that makes things easier. That makes things a lot easier. But what happens? Like I just want to actually like find out what happens here. It's like Ashe dies. Ashe dies. Ashe does an oopsies. Ashe is now dead. We could draw the lanes if we wanted to, but like you guys know where they are now. Ashe is dead. Ashe feeds. Bad Ashe. Good job. Bad job.
On the side of Carnage Gaming, one of them goes down. Kronz is killed. And meanwhile,
I don't know where the Genos is. Is the Genos in Sun?
Carnage Gaming, one of them goes down. Kronz is
no.
killed.
Where is he? Did he go Jag and just has an angle, I guess? Okay, so Vivian or Tyra is going to walk into mid and die. Okay, so it is now a 4v4. It is now a 4v4.
Any damage on the board, they do manage to find some.
Then
Such is there. Overtime was start.
Okay, then Rom goes Sun with Vivian. Oh, I didn't draw Maeve. Maeve was like here, right? No, Maeve. Wait, I didn't draw where Maeve was. Yeah, so Maeve was in Maeve. No, where the heck was Maeve? Where did Maeve start? Maeve started in dark, didn't she? Yeah, because Maeve got okay. So for some reason. Okay, so Maeve was also in here, and Maeve also decides I want to join the party, and then Maeve dies. So it's now a 4v3.
trying to see if they can put any damage on the board. They do
He
manage
kind of gets booped, but she has no cooldown, so I'm not sure why she's standing on the point.
to find some. The touch is there.
They also popped Maeve ult at some point during this.
Where they're fighting.
Maeve and Koa ult. I want to see what happened there. So I should probably get this out the screen.
More dire. The percentage is still gaining.
Oh, Maeve ult was...
Where they're fighting.
There's Maeve ult.
Things are getting a little
Okay, so this Ashe Def is a bit more excusable, but at the same time, why are you walking into Maeve ult? You don't know that they're there.
dire. The percentage is still gaining on the side of Carnage Gaming. One of them goes down. Kronz is killed.
And Koa
meanwhile,
gets
Vivian's the one
popped.
trying to see if they can put any damage on the board. They do
No.
manage to find some. The touch is there. Overtime was started.
Now, who's he going for? Is he going for the...
Trying to see if they can put any
Vivian?
damage on the board. They do manage to find some.
Vivian's one.
The touch is there. Overtime was started thanks to the on the right hand
I don't know who he's
side,
going
though.
for.
Vivian
So,
wants to keep moving in, see
this
if they can bring
happens.
down-
Oh, he went for this. How did they... So, Makoa... I don't... Also, as I've been writing K for Koa. Goes here. Did Zin go around?
is the one trying to
Where's the
see if
Zin?
Gaming. One of them goes down. Kronz is killed. And meanwhile, Vivian's the one trying to see if they can put any damage on
Zin does go around. Okay, so... And then Zin goes here, ults the Makoa. Koa dies. It's a 4v2.
the board. They do manage to find some. The touch is there. Overtime was started thanks to the on the right
Shout out to
side,
IO
though.
Pockets, by
Vivian
the way.
wants to keep moving in, see
Oh, he beefed one knife.
if they can
He also didn't get any help.
bring down Ares, and they do.
Okay. And then, wait, Khan trades for Vivian. So now, Khan has also joined the party, and Vivian's died, so it's a 3v1?
Mid Tao still alive.
No, wait. No, it's a 4v2
longer
still.
fight.
Wait, I'm so confused, dude. What is this
In the
fight?
back line. So that's going to be another
Io's still
on the
alive.
side.
Io
Game
resets
battle
point.
shot to block out
Khan
the
resets
counter.
point.
Stuff.
They play for retake. Zin walks into Khan bullets because he feels like buying items, I guess. Okay, so like, this is not what a fight should look like. Alright? Like, how, like, look at where the fights happened. They happen here, and they happen, like, this area. Look at where they rolled out. How did the fights literally go, like, how did... God damn it, dude. So, like, can I actually, like... I don't even know what to say. I feel like... Blue Team, I feel like Parallax need to stop sending Vivian mid. You're not trying to... Why are you sending Vivian mid? What does she do there? She does nothing. She sits there, shoots tanks, goes, yay, I'm proud of myself. Look how much damage I did. I broke so many shields. And she's like, wait, why did we lose the game? Because I was shooting their tank on point, guys. That's definitely what our comp is trying to do. So, like, the Vivian needs to get involved. And if you're Carnage, you need to, like, just stop stacking. That's so hard, please. Like, they're getting cheesy picks because they're deathballing. But, like, Parallax is also just not responding to deathball at all. They're deathballing with one of the single worst comps for deathballing that you could maybe have. Like, you have a half shell Makoa, and that's like the only good deathball things there. Khan is okay at it. And well, I mean, I guess Tyra, but it's a bird monster Tyra. So Io is awful at deathballing. I guess Maeve isn't deathball at all. That's not what she does. It's just, I don't know, man. It's weird breaking this down, right? Because neither team is, like, playing in a way, like, where they should win, I guess. Like, there's the standard way that you should play these comps, right? There is the standard way that you should play these comps. Nothing I've said so far is, like, super groundbreaking, right? Nothing is super like, revolutionary. This is just paladins. This is how the game works. You know how Io how comps of IO work, how double off tank works, how zoning on jag falls work, how soft zones work, how snowballs on jag work, and how last defense on jag works. Like this is stuff that we've known about for years. This is stuff that's been established in practice, and like we've got the stuff down. So seeing this, like, if either team were to play well, they would absolutely demolish the other team because I don't think either of the teams are playing well. Like what you'd want to see, right? Again, let's say let's take the wonderful. Let's start drawing Makoa now. Makoa, Maeve, Io, and Tyra. Well, let's take this. Let's take this zone. Like this loses to. Let's see what do we have. Zin. Okay, so this loses presumably to Ashe, Vivian, Genos. Ashe, who doesn't walk into 4 people that aggressively, just shields and pokes, and then like Zin and Rom. And this the red team loses. The Rom gets off angled really heavily. They just get pinched. The Rom and like Rom can even do this if he wants and just get behind them. Zin can like they could do this if they want. Like especially because Zin has a Genos mark. Like there are only so many doors to dark, and I mean this one's not great. You can cover all 3 of them. You can get a perfect surround here by just playing double off tank, double offline. You know? So it's weird. And then if we look at Parallax's retake. Look at Parallax's retake. So they do Ashe, Rom, Zin, Genos, Vivian. And you look at how you would normally zone. You do Maeve here, Luna here, Khan here. And then like if they're already here, then you can do your Koa. I guess I'm back to drawing K for Koa. Tyra and Io. And you can do this. And you know what happens here? You have like off tank DPS against support DPS. And you know who wins that? The off tank DPS win that because that's how tanks work. Tanks will win that matchup will win. Tank plus DPS will beat support plus DPS. So while capping, red team can both be killing blue's backline and not losing in the offlane because this is a 3v3. No one has a distinct advantage here, and they are always free to just leave and then come back in when blue team goes into dark because they have to go into dark. They have to get touched. So both of these teams lose if both these teams win if they play the game well. It sounds like toxic, but like I'm right. I told you why I'm right, and like if they disagreed, then like they could play better. But I don't know, man. Like it's just not impressive. It's not good.
Percentage is still gaining on the side of Carnage Gaming. One of them goes down. Kronz is killed.
It's an absolute miracle that Parallax retakes this, though. Like if that doesn't happen, if Cool doesn't decide to like walk it down. This goes differently.
Damage on the board. They do manage to find some. The
you know,
touch is there. Overtime was started.
If Ashe doesn't decide to walk into 4 people, this goes differently. Like this isn't even a game that's being decided by the macro level mistakes. Like despite all of the positioning mistakes and stuff that's very easily punished by a team that's remotely coordinated, this game isn't being won or lost based off of that. It's being won and lost based off people getting randomly picked. Like think of the first push, right? That whole thing, the first choke was lost because Genos decided to wide peek mid and got cut out by like a bunch of Maeve daggers, right? So, and like the last, I don't know, man. It's rough. What was that noise? I'm sorry.
Thanks to the on the right-hand side, though. Vivian wants to keep moving in, seeing if they can bring down Ares, and they do. Mid-Tow still alive for a little bit longer, spite it in the back line.
God, I can't get over
That's gonna be
him
another
peeking this.
flip
This is the
on
stupidest
the
thing.
side. Carnage the battle shout to block
Why
the
would
attack.
you peek
Make a stun. They manage
that?
to take out another one. Outlander
man.
with a double kill. Last hits for the support mean that they will now put the shoe.
God. No, stand on point, man.
And you gotta look at that.
Take the damage. Just out of combat after.
Here. They've got a be gone. That's a great ult to get someone off of this point. Quite literally, be gone.
There are too many people on point.
Get out of here and let us move back in. Along with the crossfire, this is a dangerous game for Parallax still, but that 74% is nice.
Yeah. So turns out, pushing into the enemy team's backline by yourself with no pressure whatsoever. Not good. Not good, dude.
Let us move back in. Along with the crossfire, this is a dangerous game for Parallax still, but that 74% is nice.
They're all mid.
Make things work out for them.
They're all
Which is
mid, man.
cool.
This is the sort of game that Bird Monster gets a lot of value on for some reason.
Kills available mid-tow.
Like, if you screenshot this frame right here, and you got rid of the names, got rid of the overlay, and said, what elo is this? I'd say it's probably around gold. Like, you got some decent tank lineups, but neither team really has a main tank. Burn Monster Tyra, all the tanks on point, somebody's getting stomped, so yeah, probably like solid gold level.
Is going to be the first one that goes down. Hook goes out, stops Dintic and rolls right.
Oh, there's no way Koa lives that. Oh my god.
Wasn't quite able to build it up thanks to the shell.
Casually saving the Ash, but the Ash dash is right back in. I guess it's 9-9. Okay, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't even want to break this down, man.
Along with the crossfire, this is a dangerous game for Parallax still.
What happens to Mave? Because like flanks are one of the best ways to punish those. Where is the Mave? Oh, Mave's just chilling in the backline for some reason. Okay. I guess she's peeling. I get. Dude, like, I don't know. It's just. The worst thing is that, like, the Zen is making more space than his tanks, and if the Vivian didn't instant die, like, this team probably wins. Like, the Zen's dead in a few seconds, right? Right? Oh, he got out? Okay, sure. Walk into the back line. It just... Look, he's in Billow. Like, he's gonna chase the Mave. That's Whirl. That's Billow. And then he just magically reappears in dark at full health. There's some missing context there. What the hell happened? How do you whirl Billow, presumably use counter, into the enemy team's backline, and just casually reappear like on another lane with full health? How does that happen?
The shell shield will be gone. Pushes one of them off of the objective here. Outlander.
I don't know. Like, you see the strength that someone controlling dark has against this dude. Like, look at, you can literally see everybody. You can see all 5 players. What right here? They're all here.
Objective here. Outlander trying to run away.
Ash not getting ult is kind of a tragedy, but
trying to stop them from capturing it, but Carnage already make this 8-3.
so like,
Is nice.
okay. Do I have to break this down? Because, like, I'm going to be repeating myself, right? These teams have not fixed their mistakes. There's that additional mistake of the Vivian pressuring the backline by herself and then instantly dying because she was pressuring the backline by herself. So that's not great. But,
along with the crossfire, this is a dangerous game for
like, if she does this,
still, but that 74% is nice.
like, now. If she pops around the corner now. Yeah? 2 half health DPS with the support getting pressured. I like the sound of this. But no, she's dead. Instead, so. So realistically, right? Parallax played that not awful. There are 2 things that really screwed them over. First of all, like, okay, first of all, Carnage. Carnage needs to stop playing mid. Like, that, there's not anything else to say about them. Like, that's literally it. They need to stop sacking. They have an IO. They need to be playing split. this Vivian should not be allowed to do what she did, right? There needs to be somebody there, or she needs to be going into a backline by herself. So
Foot goes out, stops Dintic.
like it needs to be like a full commit with everybody involved, or like she can't get there in the first place.
Rolls right on through him. Gives him
So Rom doing that's also not good, right? That's a little bit of a Fido, but it's okay because he got a pentakill earlier, right? It bounces out, so that's a little bit of a Fido. So like you can see how like if Rom went Jag, he started Jag, didn't he?
Dangerous.
Maybe he
Quite
didn't.
literally, be gone.
Yeah, he didn't. No, he did.
out another one. Outlander with a double kill. Last
Hold up, let's see where this Rom goes. Because like I want you guys to think about like what if the Rom, Zen, and Vivian all pressure the backline at the same time,
mean that they will now put
with Carnage stacking as hard as they are.
shoe on the other foot and get the zone.
And
Right.
you gotta
Rom
look
starts
at
in
that
Jag.
99% for Carnage here. They've got a be gone. That's a great ult to get someone off of this point. Quite literally, be gone. Get out of here.
And then he
Let's go back in.
goes.
Along with
He just does a lap.
the crossfire, this is
On
a
your
dangerous
left.
game for Parallax still, but that 74%
So like,
is
pretend
nice.
this doesn't happen,
They already
and pretend Rom runs in, like now. Pretend that there is a Rom here, and Rom in blue. Rom's here.
managed to make things work out for them.
Okay, well this is moving, but like, you know, Zin is in. Imagine that like the Rom went in first, then Zin went in, and Vivian peaked at the same time. They just instantly win. Maybe this is what I'm talking about. Like maybe the Ashe dies on point. Doesn't matter. You just killed 3 people. You know, like this is an absolutely free backline.
I should say cool.
But instead, like the Vivian's respawning, Zin is in by himself, and both the tanks are stacking.
Managed to get some kills available. Mitao is going to be the first one that goes down.
You know?
Hook goes out, stops Dintic and rolls right on through him. Gives himself a little bit of extra burst. Wasn't quite able to build it up thanks to the shell shield to be gone. Pushes one of them off of the objective here. Outlander trying
If
to run away.
Ashe doesn't dash in
Card,
and lets
same thing
Zin
for
touch
Franz.
with
They're trying to
cooldowns, I
stop them
think she
from
gets
capturing
Ashe
him.
ult,
Carnage
but she
already
gets
make
con
this
ulted
a
after that, so it's not a
3-0
huge deal, I don't think.
against Parallax game.
Okay, let's
Not
watch
the
this
type
push.
of look that you would expect to see from the
Clean up,
number
clean up,
one
clean up.
seeded team.
Again,
I can't
Carnage should
remember
take
the last
space
time
really
Parallax has been
aggressively.
down this much. I mean, the fact
Looking
that
for
they lost
Connell.
this set earlier is still kind of boggling me to the fact that I don't know if I believe what I'm seeing with my eyes here, Fawn. They already have that one game advantage on the side of
You can
Carnage.
con out
Overpower
like in a few
available
seconds.
for
You
him
can con
as
out
well.
now.
It's not guaranteed done here just yet.
Keep
but Jack
the
Falls is
snowball
one where
going.
Momentum rides true.
He's
If
looking
Rachel
for it.
gets a good kill onto a front line here,
That's kind of
whether he uses his
gross.
overpower or not, that is a great way to
Wow.
keep things going. What a beautiful hook to keep the kills going in their favor.
Okay, so why doesn't this
Cal
work?
gets a good kill on yet, but Jag Falls is
So,
one where momentum
I don't know why Parallax is having to use cooldowns to get to their own like choke. This because they've given the first choke. I guess that's because they staggered a little bit, but okay, whatever. Did they stagger a little bit? Like, could they have gotten
can't
another
remember.
hold?
You would expect to see from the number one seeded team.
They shouldn't actually with an
I
IO.
can't remember the last time Parallax has been down.
Even
this much.
without an
I
IO,
mean,
this
the fact that they
is
lost
really
this set
hard.
earlier is still kind of boggling me to the fact that I don't know if I believe what I'm seeing with my eyes here. Fawn.
Yeah, they're
They
not.
already have
Okay,
that one
they're
game
holding
advantage
second.
on the side of Carnage and overpower available.
I don't know. I'd look to win this fight. I'd look to just like you have a lot of ults. I'd look for Ashe in the backline, and then look to I look for Ashe ult in the backline, and then look to like use Zin and Rom to pressure the con at the same time again. Like I think the only way they deal with Ashe ult is because again, you know, they don't have IO, they just use IO. So pressure the con. That's the only thing that's stopping the Ashe ult.
It's not guaranteed done here just yet, but Jag Falls
Like, this
one
is
where
like a
momentum
Rom
rides true. If Rachel gets a good
in his
kill
zone.
onto a front line here, whether he uses his overpower or not, that is
Even if he eats him off immediately, like you can maybe get that trade. I don't know. Maybe like that's maybe worse if the con just ults the Rom, but that's why I send the Vivian instead. I guess I don't know.
great way to
So Vivian instant
kill
dies. What
onto
happened?
a front line
That's
here,
important.
Whether he uses his overpower or not, that is a
We don't see.
great
Okay,
way to keep things going. What a beautiful hook to keep the kills going in their favor.
nobody's gonna talk about the Tyra just walking off the map there, right?
That is a great way to keep things going. What a beautiful hook.
And then
Whether he uses his overpower or not, that is a great way to
yeah, judging. Oh yeah, we can see the
kill
Maeve.
onto a front line here, whether he uses his overpower or not.
Maeve is just like in mid, so I assume like she just got caught the Vivian out peeking too hard or something.
That is a great way to keep things going. What a beautiful hook to keep.
So this isn't necessarily a horrible play. I don't know about pushing past the choke. I mean, I get they kind of got forced. That was really nice. Like, this is a really nice grab. I don't know why the Ash is here though. Like, you want to, like, this is what I mean, dude. Like, this is like, well, it's not really what I mean. I haven't talked about this, but like, it's like I've been dunking on all these people for like this entire video, but like, this is the stuff that gets you punished. Like playing here instead of here. This is the stuff that you'll die for and lose the game to.
Chow gets a good
This is
kill
how big the
onto a
margins of
front line
errors
here.
are.
Whether he uses his overpower or not, that is a great way to
Wow.
keep things going. What a beautiful hook to keep the kills going in their favor.
Overpower. Next thing to be used here.
Luna still just like moving the payload, dude. This go, dude. Look how much farther it would be if like, imagine how, dude, Luna pushed so far. She's pushing like, dude.
Overpower. Next thing to be used.
The character's so good.
The next one left is Ares. Not Ares, excuse me, it's Spexy. Ares is the one that secured the kill here.
God, they just lose. Wait, do they? They have Ash ult to stall.
Makes it easier for them to get the kill on him.
And this time is okay to Ash ult point because you need to stall him respawns.
Dismounted cart still rolling forward. Kronz has to
Which she
find a way
does.
to stall. Assert dominance is the best way that he can do. That
There's the
manages to lock
grab.
ultimate. Ancient Rage is available to him. They're trying to move in
So okay, I don't even
as best as they can. Vivian trying
hit
to
the
fire
shot.
shots into the
Good job.
opposition as mid-top.
Hey, they killed the Tyra. They actually got into the backline.
Stall. Assert dominance is the best way that he can do. That manages
Like I don't know why I mean, I guess the Vivian being solo and the like Xin not being with the Rom. I mean, I guess kind of is kind of, it's not great, but it's understandable. It's a really messy fight. You're coming off respawns. You have to, you're gonna lose the game.
They're trying to move in as best as they can. Vivian trying to fire shots into the opposition as mid-tower is going to be.
The Zen isn't the backline though.
Down. Cool.
The Zen is no longer the backline.
That follows suit. The kills are starting
General
to check
Assault
the board, but
whiffed.
mostly
Unlucky. That's
goes
it.
Towards the favor of Carnage Gaming. Commander's grab goes out. Outlander.
Okay.
Stall and Carnage Gaming make this a 4-0.
That was a lot worse than I thought it was gonna be.
Been a team that has worked so hard.
That was a lot worse than I thought it was gonna be. Show me the stats. Show me the stats. Here we go. There are the builds in case you want builds from me. Here we go. See, where did? Oh my God, 0-9 from the Ash, 1-9 from the Vivian. Yeah, okay, they kind of got pounded. Show me the damage numbers. There we go. Where's the Tyra? Where's the Tyra? 73k. Oh, that's not even that much. How did the Zen do? Almost as much as the Tyra, dude. It's kind of crazy. Alright, so from, I don't know, what was the point of this video? What's the thing I can say to like wrap this all nicely in a bow? NA best region? Question mark? I don't know. PPL players overrated? I don't know. Just end the video there, maybe? No, that's not right. I don't know. I guess it's maybe like interesting to see mistakes at a macro level that don't get punished in competitive play, because like unless you know what you're looking for, the stuff is like really hard to see. Like it makes sense. So I don't know. Makes me want to like win if this is some of the best paladins we got, you know? It's like, oh, it's like I can beat this, you know? I can beat this. So yeah, those are like, it's interesting to see like how the comps should get played in a more like, you know, the small mistakes that get punished and the macro mistakes, and how these comps, like when they do get played correctly, how they work. IO dog cap was certainly something. Certainly something. I don't know if I want them to bring it back. Okay, let's be honest. Okay, well, to be honest, I want them to get rid of DR and bring dog cap back. That way you keep what makes IO strong, but get rid of what made her unfun, and then you just like make dog really squishy or something. I don't know. Make dog really squishy and give her really strong options for dog HP or something. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. That would be weird. That might not be bad. I don't know. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed. Whatever this game was, dude, I was expecting so much more, honestly. I'm sad now. Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.